In the next verses of the Holy Quran, the verse 114 and verse 115, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala states in the Holy Quran, the next verse, وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ مَنَعَ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ أَنْ يُذْكَرَ فِيهَا اسْمُهُ وَسَعَى فِي خَرَابِهَا. And who is more unjust than he who prevents the name of Allah to be mentioned in the mosques of Allah and strives for their ruin? أُولَٰئِكَ مَا كَانَ لَهُمْ أَن يَدْخُلُوهَا إِلَّا خَائِفِينَ. It is not for them to enter the mosques except in fear. لَهُمْ فِي الدُّنْيَا خِزْيٌ وَلَهُمْ فِي الْآخِرَةِ عَذَابٌ عَظِيمٌ. For them is disgrace in the present world and a severe torment in the hereafter. So in this blessed verse of the Holy Quran, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala is now again being referred to as the Lords of the East and the West. That the East and the West belongs to none other than Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَشْرِقُ وَالْمَغْرِبُ. And to Allah belongs the East and the West. فَأَيْنَمَا تُوَلُّوا فَثَمَّ وَجْهُ اللَّهِ. So in whichever direction you turn, there is the presence of Allah. Inna Allah wasi'un alim. Verily Allah is all embracing, all knowing. Now Imam Ibn Jarir Tabri, may Allah be pleased with him, narrates with the authority that as per Mujahid, the people being referred to in this blessed verse of the Holy Quran are the Christians, the Nasara, who would litter the Baitul Muqaddas and then stop people from worshipping there. This is precisely what Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala is stating in this blessed verse of the Holy Quran. وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ مَنَعَ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ أَنْ يُذْكَرَ فِيهَا اسْمُهُ وَسَعَى فِي خَرَابِهَا. And who is more unjust than he who prevents the name of Allah to be mentioned in the mosques of Allah and strives for their ruin? Now as per Imam Ibn Jarir, the people being referred to in this blessed verse of the Holy Quran were the Nasara, who had a habit of littering the Baitul Muqaddas, and they would then stop people from worshipping there. Now as per another narration, the people referred to in this blessed verse of the Holy Quran are the enemies of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, the Nasara, who because of holding hatred and animosity towards the Jews, they would help the Zoroastrian king Bakhtasar of Babel in deserting Baitul Muqaddas. وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ مَنَعَ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ أَنْ يُذْكَرَ فِيهَا اسْمُهُ وَسَعَى فِي خَرَابِهَا. And who is more unjust than he who prevents the name of Allah to be mentioned in the mosques of Allah and strives for their ruin? Now my father, my mentor, my spiritual access, my Piro Murshid, my guide, Sayyidi Shaykh Ahmad Mohsin Munawar Yousafi, he states that the proof in this blessed verse of the Holy Quran confirms that people should not stop people from worshipping in the mosque. As we come across such people that after having offered prayers, they engage in supererogatory prayers, the nawafil, and then they engage in the worship and remembrance of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. So we should keep our mosques clean. From this blessed verse of the Holy Quran, we also learn that this was the habit of the Nasara, that they would litter the mosques. They would litter Baitul Muqaddas, and Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala categorically recorded that account in the blessed verse of the Holy Quran, in the divine book of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, in the majestic book of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, the Holy Quran. Thereby a lesson for us to keep our mosques clean. It is not only because it is a place of worship, and it is not only because you go there to worship and engage in your prayers, but also because of your civic responsibility that you have towards the others. You see, after the first prayers, many of the worshippers, they engage in supererogatory prayers, the nawafil prayers. So it is our civic responsibility that we are entitled to and we are expected to keep our mosques clean at all times. Thus, remembering Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala in the mosque or worshipping Him from other acts, which acts other than farz, is also permissible. However, one should not be loud while he is in the mosque, such that he causes a disturbance to the others. This is also against the discipline required of a Muslim in a mosque. A Muslim is expected to keep the mosque clean. He is not expected to be loud in the mosque. These are the matters of discipline which the Holy Quran teaches us. Imam Bukhari narrates that Hazrat Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu says that after offering first prayers, worshipping and remembering Allah Ta'ala in a loud voice was a practice at the time of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. Hazrat Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu says that as soon as I would hear Allahu Akbar in a loud voice, I would learn that the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, has now recited his prayers. And as per various exegetes, remembering Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, doing zikr in a medium toned voice is permissible. However, when you have a very loud voice and you have a voice which disturbs the other people from worshipping, that is not considered as permissible. However, a medium toned voice has been considered and deemed as appropriate and permissible. Hazrat Abu Musa al-Ashari says that when the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, the beloved Messenger, peace be upon him, left from the blessed battle of Khaybar, people gathered in the ground and started chanting Allahu Akbar in a loud voice. The Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, called out to them. The Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, stated, have mercy on your souls, have mercy on your lives, have mercy on your lives, for you are not calling someone who is deaf or absent. You call him who is all hearing. You call him who is all knowing and is near to you and he is with you. So why is there a need to be that loud? So basically what really transpired was that after the battle of Khaybar, after gaining victory, the Muslims gathered at a certain place and then they started chanting in a very loud voice, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allah is great. Allah is great. The Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, took note of that. And then the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, stated, O people, have mercy on your lives. O people, have mercy on your lives. For the one you are calling out is someone who is not deaf. And he is someone who is not absent. He is he who is all knowing. He is he who is all hearing. And he is near. And he is with you. So why is there a need to be that loud? Again, the confirmation that medium toned voice has been deemed as acceptable. Hence established that engaging in zikr, however, is permissible. The Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, did not at any time say or ask them to stop. But the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, the beloved, was concerned. Why are you being so loud? Have a medium toned voice. A voice, a sound which does not disturb the other people around. Now, Allama Ibn Hajar Asqalani states that there are various views on the disbelievers entering the mosque as well. Now, in this blessed verse of the Holy Quran, we also endeavor to contemplate on the aspect and on the issue whether the disbelievers are allowed to enter the mosques of Muslims. As per the Hanafi school of thought, the entrance of disbelievers in a mosque is permissible. However, as per Imam Malik, which is the Maliki school of thought, entrance of disbelievers in mosques is strictly forbidden. As per Imam Shafi'i, while a disbeliever is strictly forbidden to enter Masjid al-Haram, he may enter other mosques, however. أولئك ما كان لهم أن يدخلوها إلا خائفين لهم في الدنيا خزي ولهم في الآخرة عذاب عظيم. It is not for them to enter the mosques except in fear. For them is disgrace in the present world and a severe torment for them in the hereafter. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَشْرِقُ وَالْمَغْرِبُ فَأَيْنَمَا تُوَلُّوا فَثَمَّ وَجْهُ اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَاسِعٌ عَلِيمٌ. And to Allah belongs the east and the west. So, in whichever direction you turn, there is the presence of Allah. Verily, Allah is all embracing, all knowing. Now, Imam Ibn Jarir Tabri narrates along with his authority that Hazrat Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu states that the first thing which was repealed by the Holy Quran was Qibla, which was changed by the Holy Quran was Qibla. After migration, when the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, the beloved Messenger, peace be upon him, the warmer of hearts, the coolest to eyes, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, after migration, when he arrived in Medina al-Munawwara, most of the inhabitants at the time in Medina al-Munawwara were the Jews. So Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala commanded the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, to offer the prayers while facing towards Baitul Muqaddas. Now this commandment made the Jews happy, content and satisfied. For 16 months, for a considerable time, for 16 months, the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, offered his prayers while facing towards Baitul Muqaddas. When the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, what he really wanted was that he offers his prayers while facing towards the Qibla of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. The Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, was praying this once. One day, the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, was praying while facing towards Baitul Muqaddas, when he had this in his heart, that he wanted to face the Qibla of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam and then pray in that direction. It was at that very moment that when the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, was praying and he was thinking about this, that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, the merciful Lord, the Lord of the worlds, the beloved of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, that very moment, He reveals down His commandment in the form of the blessed verse of the Holy Quran, bearing the translation that, in which Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala stated, قَدْ نَرَى تَقَلُّبَ وَجْهِكَ فِي السَّمَاءِ فَلَنُوَلِّيَنَّكَ قِبْلَةً تَرْضَاهَا قَدْ نَرَى تَقَلُّبَ وَجْهِكَ فِي السَّمَاءِ فَلَنُوَلِّيَنَّكَ قِبْلَةً تَرْضَاهَا فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. Oh beloved, we have been watching your radiant face, turning frequently towards heaven. Oh beloved, we have been watching your radiant face, turning frequently towards the heaven. So we shall certainly cause you to turn towards a Qibla that pleases you. So we shall certainly cause you to turn towards a Qibla that pleases you. So now, oh beloved, so now turn your face towards the sacred mosque, which is Al-Masjid Al-Haram. Bear in mind that this is the very moment that the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, is yet in prayers. He is offering his prayers while facing towards Baitul Muqaddas, while thinking and wishing that had he faced towards the Qibla of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, and it is at that very moment that the divine commandment of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala reveals, bearing the translation, oh beloved, we have been watching you, the beloved, the Lord watching His beloved. Oh beloved, we have been watching your radiant face, turning frequently towards the heaven. So we shall certainly cause you to turn towards a Qibla that pleases you. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, thereby a confirmation, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala wanted to, and Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala was pleasing His beloved, the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. He was doing what His beloved wished. He was doing what His beloved wanted. Oh beloved, we have been watching your radiant face turning frequently towards the heaven. So we shall certainly cause you to turn towards the Qibla that pleases you. So now turn your face towards the sacred mosque, which is Masjid al-Haram. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَشْرِقُ وَالْمَغْرِبُ فَأَيْنَمَا تُوَلُّوا فَثَمَّ وَجْهُ اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَاسِعٌ عَلِيمٌ. Inna Allah wasi'un alim, and to Allah belongs the east and the west. So in whichever direction you turn, there is the presence of Allah. Verily, Allah is all embracing, all knowing. The Jews then objected to this, that why did the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, change his Qibla? Why did he change the Qibla from Baitul Muqaddas to the Qibla of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam? The Jews objected to this when there was no point of objection whatsoever, as everything was happening on account of the divine commandment of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. So at first the Qibla was Baitul Muqaddas, but the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, wanted to have a Qibla of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, which is towards Masjid al-Haram, towards the Baitullah Sharif. As a result, the divine commandment to change the Qibla direction came, but this verse was revealed when the Jews objected. Imam Ibn Jarir says that there is another cause of revelation, another Nazul of this blessed verse of the Holy Quran, to whichever direction the ride was facing during travels. So Hazrat Ibn Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he would face the same direction and offer his prayers to whichever direction his ride was facing. And he holds reason from this blessed verse that wherever you shall face towards Allah. فَأَيْنَمَا تُوَلُّوا فَثَمَّ وَجْهُ اللَّهِ. So in whichever direction you turn, there is the presence of Allah. Hazrat Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu states that the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, would also offer his prayers in the same direction while he was on a blessed ride as well. In whichever direction was the ride facing, the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, would offer his prayers in that very direction and would perform ruku and sajda with gestures. فَأَيْنَمَا تُوَلُّوا فَثَمَّ وَجْهُ اللَّهِ. So in whichever direction you turn, there is the presence of Allah. Hazrat Rabbiya radiyallahu ta'ala, he would say that we were once with the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and it was an extremely dark night. We stopped at a certain place and every person placed a stone towards his sajdaga. That is the place where he would place his head to perform sajda. In the morning, everyone realized that they had not offered their prayers whilst facing the Qibla. He says that we then humbly asked the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, O Prophet of Allah, we offered our prayers whilst not facing towards the Qibla the last night. It was then that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala revealed this blessed verse of the Holy Quran. فَأَيْنَمَا تُوَلُّوا فَثَمَّ وَجْهُ اللَّهِ. So in whichever direction you turn, there is the presence of Allah. From this we learn that offering prayers whilst on your right is also permissible, whether the right is facing any other direction or not, whichever direction it is facing. However, it is pertinent to note that offering prayers which are of a first nature, offering first prayers whilst on a ride without a valid reason is not permissible, because facing the Qibla is first. And without a valid reason or excuse, first does not turn obsolete. For instance, if there is mud on your way and if you shall get off the ride, you fear that you shall get dirty and impure. In such a situation, offering first prayers whilst seated on the right is permissible. However, in the absence of any valid excuse, one cannot engage in such a manner, and in the absence of a valid excuse, one can offer the supererogatory prayers whilst on a right, but not the first prayers. Once the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and the blessed companions of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, may Allah be pleased with all of them, they were once traveling with the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, somewhere when the time for first prayers arrived. Now due to rain, there was wet mud underneath the ride. So there was this worry that if they got down of their ride, the mud would get onto their clothes. The Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, called out the azan whilst on the ride and said the Iqamah as well. Then the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, moved ahead on his ride, on his blessed ride, while the blessed companions of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, stood behind the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, on their rides. Then the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, led the prayers with gestures while on the ride. Jamaat, while on the ride. Maulana Amjad Ali Khan and many other saints have said that when a moving train does not stop at a station when the time for prayers arrives, then praying whilst on the moving train is also permissible. And it is not only permissible but also first, because you cannot get off a moving train or else you will die.
To access the same lecture in Urdu, please click on the link available below in the description.